And as we've been reporting, the contentious religious discrimination bill is being debated in the Parliament. The amended bill would protect gay students from expulsion, but doesn't afford the same rights to trans students. Jeremy Wiggins is the Executive Officer of Transcend Australia, and he joins me now for more on this. Jeremy, how would you describe this distinction under this amended bill that trans kids and only trans kids could be expelled due to their sexual orientation?
Thanks for having me, Gemma. I can't describe it in any other way other than horrific and frightening that our Australian government and society would consider supporting this bill, which extends no protection at all to trans and gender diverse kids in school environments in faith-based schools, but as well, even further, to anyone of any diversity if they don't fall up within that faith, including employees, single mothers, or even people of other faith backgrounds. I currently work at Transcend Australia. We're a national organisation that supports families, parents of trans and gender diverse and non-binary young people and children. And the reports that I'm getting from our communities is that children are currently too afraid to attend school because they're afraid of being bullied. And I can't describe this bill in any other way as some sort of bully bill.
Do you think it'll pass?
I certainly hope it doesn't. I certainly hope that all the politicians, the federal MPs, the coalition, Scott Morrison's government actually pay attention to the advice and the review from experts of all sorts, human rights advocates, lawyers, community groups, and completely reject this bill and go back to the drawing board to create a fairer bill that extends protections for communities that are so highly vulnerable because we face disproportionate levels of discrimination, abuse, violence and harassment already. Our children and our young people do not need this extra stress. They deserve every right to access a safe and affirming education.
Given we start school in this country at the age of 4 or 5 and it's the decision of parents, what in effect is being asked of trans kids here?
Well, I recall when our Prime Minister casually said we don't need gender whisperers in schools, inflaming this debate. I say we don't need gender silencers in schools. We need school environments to protect the identities and various characteristics of every individual student under human rights law and anti-discrimination law. My mother's a Catholic and she's the proudest defender of trans rights. We have plenty of children and young people all across Australia in regional and rural Australia who currently attend school, and this will just impact them negatively. It'll impact their psychological development and it will not enable them to have access to quality education.
And I imagine it's not just trans kids feeling the discrimination here.
Well, that's right. I mean, I'm a father as well of twins, so I understand what it's like to care for children, and you don't want them to be bullied at school. You want to be able to send them off to school and know that they're going to have a great day, make friends, develop relationships, but it also extends to gay kids. Gay kids are still going to be punished or suspended, and anyone in any diverse background is really at risk here. So I do really implore our communities all across Australia to consider how dangerous is this bill? How dangerous is this bully bill?
The rhetoric that we're hearing and that we're going to hear, can you expand a bit more on the effect that that will have on the trans community?
Well, it's going to heighten their sense of safety. They're going to feel at risk. Their safety is already at risk. Young people are attacked on the streets, verbally abused, excluded from things that they should feel empowered to participate in, like regular sports, or even extended to healthcare settings. It will make it difficult for people to be able to access safe healthcare if a healthcare provider discriminates under the exemptions afforded by this bill. So we are looking at widespread catastrophic ramifications if this bill passes. And I believe it is in the best interest of our society for the future of all to create a fair and just society for it to be withdrawn, rejected, and to start again.
So, Jeremy, what's your message to those who will vote on this?
If you are considering voting on this, I ask you to reconsider, to listen to the people who are most at risk for the ramifications of this. Our vulnerable communities who already have high suicide rates and poor mental health outcomes. Think about where you're leaving them in the dark now if you pass this bill.
Jeremy Wiggins, Executive Officer of Transcend Australia. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.